Now we're ready for lower body strength training. And my partner and colleague is Katie Green. And we're going to show you how to train the lower body, but not only for strength, but for power and balance. Because if you've noticed in the fitness industry, things have been changing a bit. It's not just about sitting in a machine and pushing the weight out. It's about stability and balance from the core, and it's also about power. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and get started. I'd say the first and most important exercise that we should really key in on is the squat, because the squat trains every single muscle group in your whole body, but literally targets your quadriceps, your gluteals, which is in the hip area, and your hamstrings. Okay, those are the main focus, but those of you who've done squats also understand that you're working your calf muscles to keep your balance, your gastroc and your soleus. Your tibialis anterior are also stabilizing. Your gluteus medius and minimus, those are helping to balance you sideways. And then your upper body has to stabilize your movement as well. So this is a total body exercise. So let's go ahead and start squats, and we're gonna show you the right way to do them, because there's wrong ways as well. So Katie, I'm gonna let you pick up these weights. Here are the weights. Oh, okay. Katie did that on purpose to show you the correct way. That was great. You'll see a lot of your clients in the gym, what they're gonna do is they're gonna come up to a weight rack, and the weight rack will be here, and no one's watching, so they just lift them up. Well, repeatedly doing that over and over is gonna do some damage to the back. In fact, Katie's gonna demonstrate that right now. If Katie stands like this, Katie, I want you now to lean over from here to about here. Okay, good. What's holding her up are her erector spinae muscles, quadratus, okay? Then she leans over a little bit more. Now her glutes will then pick up some innervation to hold her back. But then when she goes beyond parallel, and I'm only gonna have her hold this for a second, from here on, all that's holding her up, this suspension bridge, all that's holding that are ligaments. And that is not the proper way to lift. In your fitness industry, that's unsupported forward flexion. Now, in the world, you're going to lift some things sometimes that way. You're going to come over and you're going to pick up a band like this, or that's going to happen. And that will actually nourish ligaments. But in the gym, when we're hoisting heavy loads, those discs, which, there's discs in your back, and those of you who've had problems know what I'm talking about. The discs, when they become bulging or impinged, will begin to hurt you because they press against the spinal nerve. And anytime you move forward like that, that's when they say, oh, I hurt my back. Well, it wasn't that one time. It was that 100th time that they picked the weight up incorrectly. So be sure that you, as well as your clients, lift the weights off correctly, because they'll copy you. They will. And teach them how to lift off the floor like Katie just did correctly. All right, we're ready for squats. Now, some of you are going to prefer to hold the weights up here. Some of you are going to prefer here. Either way is fine. If you're used to doing bar squats and you want to hold the weights up next to your shoulders, that's fine. Katie's going to hold them down here. Here's the controversy. I used to live in Okinawa when I was a kid. It's an island near Japan. And over there, I used to see people sitting on street corners like this. And they would be sitting here for hours just like this. And yet in the fitness industry, we are not permitted to teach a full squat. And here's why. If we teach a full squat to a group of students, or even to maybe your personal training client, and they just happen to squat, and then at the same time they're down there, there's a little bit of torsion in the knee, guess what's going to go? A meniscus. It's cartilage in the knee, or an anterior cruciate ligament, the ligament that holds your bones together. So our goal is to teach a safe squat, which literally means parallel, not beyond parallel with your thigh. All right? So here we go. I'm going to hand the weights to Katie, and let's cue Katie through this exercise so that from start to finish we have her doing the right thing. The first thing I'm going to have her do is to soften her knees, so she's going to bend her knees slightly. As she bent her knees, she automatically chose a foot position that's going to be comfortable. You'll find that each of your clients is different. Some people are going to prefer to have a little bit toes out, some people straight. But I let them find their own best position. And just like Katie did, about shoulder width apart is very stable, so that's excellent. The next and most important thing, I think, is as she starts her movement, she puts all of this together where she retracts the scapula, her eyes stay forward, and her hips go back instead of this. Okay, now, here's what a lot of people do. They go like this. Oh, can you imagine the back pain? So for squats, the hips go back. That keeps the spine neutral. So that's a lot of things to think about, and you want to go very slowly the first few times, and many times without weights for your client who's never been trained with weights before. All right, so you're going to do it from the shoulder position? Good. And what we're going to do, soften the knees, good, the hips go back, the eyes stay up, and moving down into position, good. And when I see, right there, when I see that her back starts to round, then she comes back up. That's going to be her position. If her back starts to round, or if her back comes too far forward, then that's as far as she needs to be going. Let's do another one. Good, hips go back, eyes stay up, good, 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 good. Right there and come back up. As soon as I saw a little bit too much forward flexion of the spine, good. Here we go again. Good, notice how her knees are tracking over her toes, and then also she's exhaling. This exercise, it's on the way up. That's the range of motion, that's the hard part. The eccentric contraction is also difficult, but the exhalation comes on the way up. Good. And notice this is working the entire body. She's stabilizing her upper body with her torso, and then her lower body is working through a full range of motion. Perfect, perfect. How's that feel? Is that good? Okay. So that's a squat. And